This video shows you how to download the data from your robot and onto the computer. So after you've written your program in programming mode, I'm going to click on my program here, and now I'm going to download my program to my robot by clicking on the white arrow. And I heard my program download to my robot, and now I'm going to run my program, or I would unplug the robot from your computer and bring it over to where you're going to run your program. To find my program, I'm clicking on My Files, then Software Files, and then I find my program called Velocity, and now I'm going to hit Run. Okay, so now the program's done. So I bring the robot back to my computer and I plug it in with the USB cable, and I'm ready to download my data. So this is right here, if I click right here, this is my download mode when I'm an investigator. And now to download data, I click on this white arrow here. So here is my graph, and this graph, based on what my program said, is I'm recording the motor encoder in degrees of my motor A as it drives forward, and this is where it bumps the wall and then it comes back. Now let's say I want to change my program. I'm going to go, so I'm in data collection mode here. I need to go back to the programmer mode, and let's say I want to change the speed of my motors on the way back. So after it hits the wall, I want to change the speed. So I'm going to select from my functions palette, I'm going to select a power level of 2, and I'm going to wire that back into my motors. Alright, so now I'm ready to go. I'm going to download my program again. And now I'm going to run it again. Okay, so now my program's done. I'm going to take my robot and plug it into the computer. And now I'm going to need to go to data collection mode, and now I need to add a new data set. So I'm going to click on plus, and now I'm ready to download again. My arrow's available, so I'm going to click on that arrow. And there's my new graph. And so I can see my the steepness of my curve here is, it's more steep here than it is here. It's more shallow over here. And so the shallower represents going slower. Notice that the left side is going away from my starting position and the right side is going back towards my starting position. Now let's say I want to do another data set. I'm going to add another data set, and now I can run my program again. This time I ran it for a shorter amount of time on the way out, and let's see what that does to my graph. So I can see I went out, and then my coming back, I went a lot more degrees coming back than I did going out. Now let's say I don't like that data set. I can delete it by selecting it and then selecting minus. And it says, are you sure you want to delete this page? You can say yes. And let's say I want to delete this one too. I can say minus and say OK. And then I can even delete the main one here. I can say OK. Now it asks me, do you want to reset all bin titles and associated sensor types? So I'm going to reset, and I'm ready to collect data again. And so that's all you need to know to collect data on any of on the rotation, on the motor encoder for the motors, and as well as any of the sensors that you want to attach to your robot.